The stars shimmered in the view screen as Captain Lily Martinez stood on the bridge of the Defiance. Earth's first true interstellar ship wasn't the prettiest vessel, but it was theirs. Human-built with human hands. She felt proud as the massive, alien ship came into view. "They're hailing us, Captain," said Officer Dan Kelly from his communications station. His fingers trembled slightly over the controls. "On screen," Lily ordered, straightening her uniform. This was humanity's first contact with the so-called Galactic Hegemony. Everything had to be perfect. The alien face that appeared looked almost reptilian with smooth blue-gray skin and large golden eyes. 4 small breathing holes replaced what would have been a nose on a human face. "Greetings, Earth vessel. I am Ambassador Zornthal of the Galactic Hegemony. We welcome you to the greater community of spacefaring civilizations." The words came through perfectly translated, another gift the Hegemony had already shared. They had been broadcasting messages to Earth for months before this meeting, promising friendship and advancement. "Ambassador, I'm Captain Lily Martinez of Earth Vessel Defiance. We're honored to meet you." The meeting in space was just for show. The real negotiations would happen on Earth, where representatives from all major nations had formed the United Q, Earth Council. Commander Jack Harrison had been chosen to speak for all humans. Lily's job was simply to make a good first impression. 3 days later, Lily stood at attention in the grand hall of the new UEC headquarters in Geneva. The room buzzed with excitement as Ambassador Zornthal and his delegation entered. Humans from every nation watched with hope and fear. "The Hegemony offers friendship," the alien ambassador began, his voice smooth and confident. "We have helped thousands of developing worlds join our community. We will share technology, medicine, and knowledge." Commander Harrison nodded eagerly. "And what does Earth offer in return?" he asked. Zornthal made a gesture that might have been a smile. "Your world is rich in biological diversity unlike any we've seen. We merely wish to study and catalog your amazing ecosystem. Perhaps small samples of materials unique to Earth. A fair exchange, is it not?" In the back of the room, Dr. Alan Wright frowned as he listened. The xenobiologist had been studying the preliminary data the Hegemony had shared. Something felt off, but he couldn't put his finger on it. "I don't trust them," he whispered to his colleague Lisa Carpenter. Lisa nodded slightly. As the UEC's top surveillance specialist, she had been monitoring the Hegemony's communications as best she could with their limited understanding of alien technology. "I intercepted something yesterday," she whispered back. "Couldn't translate most of it, but it wasn't the friendly talk they give us in public." Across the room, Zornthal continued his speech about galactic brotherhood and technological wonders. The Earth officials listened with rapt attention, especially when he mentioned extended human lifespans and cures for diseases. Over the next week, negotiations proceeded quickly. Too quickly, in Alan's opinion. The Hegemony representatives were always smiling, always agreeable, always ready with impressive demonstrations of their technology. "Look at these biological samples they provided," Alan told Lisa in his lab late one night. "They say this is from a world similar to Earth that has been flourishing under Hegemony protection for 2 centuries. Lisa peered through the microscope. "And?" "The cellular degradation suggests this sample is from a dying ecosystem, not a thriving one." Alan ran his hand through his hair in frustration. "But whenever I raise concerns, Commander Harrison and the others just talk about the medical technology the Hegemony is offering." Lisa pulled out a small device that she had built herself. "I modified one of their communication devices. Been picking up their transmissions when they think we're not listening." She played a recording of alien speech with sections of broken translation. "Harvest World 7291. Suitable for Phase 1 processing. Minimal resistance expected. Population control measures standard." Alan's face went pale. "We need to take this to Harrison." But Commander Harrison wouldn't listen. The next day, at a special ceremony broadcast worldwide, he signed the Treaty of Sol with Ambassador Zornthal. Earth was officially under the protection of the Galactic Hegemony. "This is a great day for humanity," Harrison announced to thunderous applause. Behind him, large screens showed Hegemony ships bringing supplies and technology to Earth. A great day indeed, Zornthal agreed, placing his six-fingered hand on the treaty. The hegemony welcomes Earth as a valued partner. Lily watched from the side of the stage, her face carefully neutral despite her growing concerns. The hegemony had already begun establishing research outposts across Earth, and a large station was being built in orbit. Everything was happening too fast. After the ceremony, she found Alan and Lisa waiting in her office. "We need to talk," Alan said without preamble. "The hegemony is lying about everything." "I know," Lily said quietly, closing the door. "I've seen. They're ships. They're not research vessels. They're designed for resource extraction." Lisa held up her device. "I've decoded more of their communications. They refer to Earth as Harvest World 7291. We're not the first world they've done this to." "Harrison won't listen," Alan said. "I tried again this morning. He says the benefits outweigh any risks." Lily walked to the window, looking out at the hegemony shuttle parked on the landing pad. "Then we need to prepare on our own," she said. "Quietly gather like-minded people. Learn as much about their technology as we can." "You're talking about resistance," Lisa said. "It wasn't a question." "I'm talking about insurance," Lily replied. "I hope we're wrong about them, but if we're right." She let the thought hang unfinished. That night, as Earth celebrated its entry into the galactic community, a small ship departed the main hegemony vessel in orbit. Inside, Zornthal met with the actual commander of the hegemony forces. "The humans suspect nothing?" the commander asked, his voice cold and precise. "A few have doubts, but they've been ignored by their leadership. The humans are desperate for our medical technology, as you predicted." The commander nodded, pleased. "Begin Phase 1 extraction in the uninhabited regions. We'll increase operations gradually as we have on all previous harvest worlds." "And the humans?" "Standard procedure. Maintain the illusion until we're fully established. Then begin population reduction measures. Their water systems will make distribution of the agents simple." Zornthal looked at the blue planet below. "Such a shame. They seemed almost intelligent." "Their resources, nothing more," the commander replied. "Prepare the harvest." On Earth, Lily Martinez stared at the stars from her apartment window. She couldn't see the hegemony ships, but she knew they were there. Something terrible was coming, and somehow humanity needed to be ready. "They lied to us," she whispered to herself, "and they'll pay for that mistake." 5 years passed since Earth signed the Treaty of Sol. Hegemony ships now filled Earth's skies. Their research outposts had grown into massive complexes surrounded by high walls and strange energy fields. The aliens had delivered on many promises. New medicines cured diseases, food production increased, and some technological advances were shared. But not all technology was shared. The hegemony kept weapon systems and faster-than-light drive specifications locked away. "For your own safety," they always said. "Your species is still developing." Sam Donovan didn't believe them for a second. The retired Air Force colonel now led a group called Earthwatch from an underground bunker outside of Denver. The small resistance movement monitored hegemony activities and gathered information. "They're expanding again," said Frank Powell, pointing to a map where red dots showed hegemony facilities. 4 new outposts this month. Sam studied the pattern. All near mineral deposits or water sources. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. The door opened and Lisa Carpenter entered. 5 years of secret work had aged her, but her eyes remained sharp. "You need to see this," she said, handing Sam a data tablet. Natalie Garcia smuggled it out of UEC headquarters. Natalie Garcia had been a mid-level official in the United Earth Council when the treaty was signed. Now she was high enough in the organization to access sensitive documents, and she was one of the few UEC officials who secretly worked with Earthwatch. Sam read the screen and his face darkened. Treaties with other worlds? The hegemony said we were the first non-hegemony species they'd contacted in 50 years. "They lied," Lisa said simply. "And look at the redacted sections. Natalie couldn't access those, but the pattern is clear. Heavy resource extraction, followed by population management measures." "We need more proof," Sam said. something concrete to show people what's happening. That same day, engineer Peter Collins was finishing his shift at the Hegemony Technology Integration Facility in Seattle. As a human technician, he was only allowed to work on basic systems, but Peter had been carefully mapping the Hegemony's computer networks for months. When the alien supervisors left for their daily rest period, Peter connected a small device to a terminal. The code he had written slowly bypassed the security protocols, copying fragments of data from the alien database. An alarm suddenly blared. Peter quickly removed his device and pretended to check system diagnostics as a Hegemony guard rushed in. "Human, what are you doing?" the guard demanded, towering over Peter. "System fluctuation," Peter said calmly, pointing to a legitimate warning on his screen. "Power surge in Section 3. I was running standard checks." The guard studied him with large golden eyes before nodding slowly. "Complete your work and leave." The alarm stopped as suddenly as it had begun. That night, Peter traveled to Sam's bunker. "I almost got caught," he said, handing over the device. "But I got something. Not sure what. Their encryption is complex." Lisa worked through the night to decode the fragments. By morning, her face was grim. "It's worse than we thought. Look at these files, records of previous worlds the Hegemony partnered with." The images showed beautiful worlds transformed into barren landscapes, alien cities reduced to mining pits, indigenous populations first crowded into work camps, then disappearing entirely. "There are dozens of worlds here," Sam said quietly, "all following the same pattern. First contact, technology sharing, resource survey, extraction, and finally, harvest." Lisa finished for him. "That's the term they use." Sam made a decision. "We need to get into one of their outposts, see what they're actually doing there." 3 weeks later, Sam led a small team to infiltrate the Hegemony facility on Mars. Using access codes Peter had extracted from the data, they entered through a maintenance tunnel. What they found inside confirmed their worst fears. Giant machines processed Martian soil and water, extracting minerals at destructive rates. Deeper in the facility, they discovered biological testing labs with human genetic material, clearly labeled in alien script. "They're testing something," whispered Karen Lee, their medical expert. She quickly scanned the lab samples with a modified Hegemony device. "Looks like they're developing compounds that interact with human DNA." Back on Earth, Dr. Alan Wright had reached the same conclusion. Working in his private lab with samples smuggled out by sympathetic workers, he identified Hegemony bioweapons being developed using Earth's genetic material. "It's species-specific," he told Lily Martinez over a secure channel. "Designed to target humans only. Once released, it would kill millions within days." Lily, now commanding a fleet of Earth defense vessels that had been carefully modified beyond Hegemony specifications, felt cold fear. "How far along are they?" "Final testing phase, from what I can tell." While Sam's team gathered evidence from Mars, Natalie Garcia received an unexpected visitor at her apartment. A Hegemony scientist named Velnar requested a private meeting. "Must be careful," the alien said, constantly checking monitoring devices. "Not all of my kind agree with what is happening to your world." "What exactly is happening?" Natalie asked. "The same thing that happened to my homeworld 3 centuries ago. We were harvested, our population reduced to work groups, our world stripped of resources. Those of us who survived were modified to serve the Hegemony." Velnar showed Natalie images that matched what Sam's team had discovered. "Your water systems will be contaminated next month. Population centers will be the first targets. Those who survive will be relocated to extraction labor camps." When Sam returned from Mars, Natalie brought Velnar to the bunker. The defector provided authentication codes that helped Lisa access deeper Hegemony communications. "We need to warn everyone," Sam said after reviewing all the evidence. "We need to show this to Gregory Watson." Gregory Watson was the UEC chair, Earth's highest representative. But when Sam and Natalie presented the evidence, Watson's reaction surprised them. "I'm aware of certain adjustments to our agreement," Watson said coldly. but the benefits to Earth outweigh temporary discomforts. Discomforts? They're planning to kill most of humanity. Sam's voice rose in anger. Watson's eyes hardened. The hegemony has guaranteed positions for Earth's leadership. Cooperation is the only reasonable choice. As Sam and Natalie left the UEC building, they saw Watson meeting with Zornthal, accepting what appeared to be a small blue device. He's been compromised, Natalie whispered. They all have. That night, hegemony forces raided known Earthwatch locations. Sam and his core team barely escaped. They're accelerating the timeline, Lily told them during an emergency meeting. My sources in orbit report new ships arriving daily. We need to disappear and prepare. As the group went underground, hegemony research outposts across the solar system expanded rapidly. The aliens no longer bothered hiding their massive mining operations or the weapons they were installing. They think we're beaten before we've even fought, Sam said, looking at reports of new hegemony bases. That's their mistake, Lily nodded grimly, and they'll pay for it with their empire. 8 years had passed since the hegemony first contacted Earth. Now their true face was clear to those who dared to look. Sam Donovan's small resistance group had grown into a network called Terra Invicta, with hidden cells across Earth and the solar colonies. They operated in shadows, sharing information through coded messages and secret meetings. Captain Lily Martinez still commanded her fleet of Earth vessels, officially working with the hegemony, while secretly preparing for rebellion. Her ships had hidden compartments where engineers made modifications that the aliens knew nothing about. Weapon systems were enhanced, engines were strengthened, and most importantly, communication systems were altered to avoid hegemony monitoring. In an underground lab beneath the ruins of Chicago, Dr. Catherine Powell worked day and night. The brilliant scientist had once designed satellite systems before the hegemony came. Now she focused on understanding alien technology from the fragments the resistance had stolen. I think I've found something, she told Sam during a rare face-to-face meeting. Her fingers stained with chemicals and burn marks pointed to a complex diagram. We've been approaching their tech all wrong. It's not just advanced, it's built on completely different principles. Sam studied the diagrams with tired eyes. 8 years of resistance had aged him greatly. Can we use it? Catherine nodded. I've already sent my findings to Peter Collins. His team might be able to reverse engineer their FTL drives using this approach. Peter Collins had established a secret engineering facility in an abandoned mine in Australia. There, he and 20 engineers worked on the most important project of all, giving humans the ability to travel faster than light without hegemony control. The aliens think FTL technology is beyond our understanding, Peter explained to his team as they examined Catherine's findings. They've only shown us simplified versions that require their control, but Catherine's work suggests we can create our own approach. While the engineers worked, Velnar provided critical information about hegemony weaknesses. The alien defector had undergone surgery to appear more human and now lived among the resistance. The hegemony relies on absolute control of communication, Velnar explained. Their entire empire functions through a unified network. Ships, weapons, even their biological agents, all require constant connection to central command. Lisa Carpenter immediately understood the importance of this. If we could disrupt that network, it would be like cutting off the head of a snake, Velnar confirmed. The opportunity to test this theory came sooner than expected. Security specialist Eric Rivera led a small team to intercept a hegemony scout ship that had crashed in the Rocky Mountains. They reached the site before the hegemony recovery team arrived. We have 20 minutes at most, Eric told his team as they rushed inside the damaged vessel. They downloaded data from the ship's computers and removed key technology components. Before disappearing back into the mountains, the captured ship's data proved invaluable. It contained navigation charts, communication protocols, and tactical information about hegemony fleet movements. Even more valuable were the ship's communication systems, which Catherine Powell began studying immediately. I think I can create a virus, she said after 3 days without sleep. something that can infiltrate their network and corrupt their communication systems from within. While Catherine worked on the virus, Captain Martinez used her position to distribute weapons and technology to resistance cells. Her ships made routine supply runs to human colonies, secretly dropping off equipment and picking up new recruits. The hegemony began to sense that something was wrong. Their harvest operations were being delayed by unexpected equipment failures. Security systems would mysteriously shut down. Small acts of sabotage were happening everywhere. Zornthal, now the hegemony governor of the Sol system, ordered increased security measures. "The humans are becoming problematic," he told his commanders. "We need to accelerate our timeline." Across Earth, hegemony forces began forced relocations of human settlements near resource-rich areas. Entire towns were emptied overnight, their residents taken to processing centers. The hegemony no longer pretended these were research facilities. They were clearly prison camps where humans were evaluated for labor potential. In the UEC headquarters, now little more than a puppet government, several officials who questioned these actions were found dead. Gregory Watson claimed they had died from a new virus, but resistance spies confirmed they had been executed and replaced with more cooperative humans. "They're moving faster now," Sam told the resistance leadership during an emergency meeting. "We need to strike back before they go any further." The plan they formed was dangerous but necessary. Terra Invicta would make its first direct attack against the hegemony, targeting a massive harvesting facility the aliens had built on the moon. Eric Rivera led the strike team, 12 men and women who had trained for years for this moment. They approached the moon in a supply ship with falsified credentials. Catherine Powell had created devices that would turn the hegemony's own security systems against them. "Remember," Eric told his team as they prepared to dock, "we're not just fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for everyone on Earth who doesn't even know they're slaves yet." The attack began at what Earth would consider midnight. Eric's team planted devices at key points throughout the facility. When activated, these devices sent conflicting commands to the hegemony security systems, causing automated defenses to attack the aliens themselves. In the chaos that followed, the humans planted explosives at the facility's power core. They escaped just as the entire complex erupted in flames visible from Earth. The moon attack sent a clear message. Humans would not go quietly to extinction, but the hegemony's response was swift and brutal. Zornthal appeared on all communication channels on Earth. "This act of terrorism proves humans are not ready for galactic civilization," he announced. "For your own protection, the hegemony now assumes direct control of all Earth governments and facilities. Resist, and you will be eliminated." Hegemony warships entered Earth orbit, their weapons pointed at major cities. Alien troops landed in every capital, taking control of all UEC facilities. The pretense of partnership was finally dropped. In Lily Martinez's hidden command center, she received the news with grim satisfaction. "They've shown their true face at last," she said to her officers. "Now everyone can see what we've been fighting." Sam. Donovan watched the hegemony announcement from a resistance bunker. "Now we move to phase 2, he told his people. "They think they've won by taking control, but you can't control what you can't find." That night, as hegemony forces rounded up human leaders across the planet, Lily Martinez gave the order she had prepared for years. Her fleet of 20 ships hidden among Earth's defensive forces activated their modified engines and disappeared from Earth orbit before the hegemony could react. They were headed to the stars, carrying humanity's best weapons and brightest minds. The real war was about to begin. 10 years after first contact, Earth lived under the heavy boot of hegemony control. Cities were surrounded by alien barriers. Humans needed special passes to travel. Food was rationed, water was monitored, and anyone who spoke against the aliens disappeared. But beneath this control, resistance burned like a hidden fire. Terra Invicta cells operated everywhere, sharing information and preparing for the moment to strike back. Sam Donovan moved through the ruins of Boston, his face hidden beneath a hood. At 62, his body ached from old wounds, but his eyes remained sharp and determined. He entered what looked like an abandoned store, gave a special knock, and was quickly ushered into a basement meeting room. "We received a message from Captain Martinez," said Frank Powell, now Sam's second in command. "The fleet is ready." For 10 months, no one on Earth had heard from Martinez's 20 ships that escaped after the moon attack. Many feared they had been destroyed. But Lily Martinez had not been running away. She had been preparing the greatest surprise in human history. "Catherine's virus is complete," Sam told the gathered resistance leaders. "We need to upload it to every hegemony communication hub on Earth at exactly the same time." Catherine Powell's face appeared on a secure screen. She had gone with Martinez's fleet, continuing her work in space. "The virus will spread through their entire network," she explained. "It will corrupt their communications, disable their weapons, and open their databases. But we need simultaneous access to at least 15 major hubs." "We can do it," Sam assured her. "What about the fleet?" Lily Martinez joined Catherine on the screen. Her uniform was different now. Not Earth Defense Force, but something new. "We're coming home," she said simply. "And we're not coming alone." While in deep space, Martinez's fleet had done the impossible. Using Peter Collins's modified FTL drives, they had traveled to 3 hegemony outer worlds. There, they found other subjected species who had suffered under alien rule. Some joined the human cause, bringing their own ships and technology. "We have 37 ships now," Lily explained. "And something else. We've been testing the virus on smaller hegemony outposts. It works better than we hoped." The plan was set. In 3 days, Terra Invicta would strike at every hegemony control center on Earth while Martinez's fleet returned to attack from space. The first step happened that night. Sam led a special team to the heart of New York City, now the main hegemony command center on Earth. Using technology developed from Catherine's research, they bypassed alien security measures and entered the heavily guarded complex. "We have 15 minutes before their systems detect the anomaly," whispered Eric Rivera as he disabled a security node. Sam nodded. His team moved swiftly through the building, planting small devices at key locations. These were not bombs. They were data ports that would activate during the main attack, allowing Catherine's virus to enter the hegemony network. As they reached the central command room, Sam saw something unexpected, a massive holographic display showing the entire hegemony empire. Hundreds of worlds glowed on the map, many marked with the same harvest designation as Earth. "Download everything," Sam ordered. Eric connected a device to the system, copying as much data as possible in the short time they had. An alarm suddenly blared. "We've been detected," Eric shouted. "Complete the download," Sam ordered calmly. "We need that information." Hegemony guards rushed toward the command center. Sam's team took defensive positions, using modified weapons that could penetrate alien armor. The fight was fierce but brief. 3 resistance fighters fell, but the team secured the download and escaped through a pre-planned route. Back at their hidden base, Sam reviewed what they had stolen. "This is it," he said, his voice tight with emotion. "Complete strategic information. Every hegemony world, every fleet position, every defense system." The data was immediately transmitted to Martinez's fleet, now approaching the edge of the solar system. The next day, Zornthal made an announcement from his headquarters. "We have detected terrorist activity," the alien governor stated. "As a security measure, all human movement is restricted. Anyone found outside their assigned areas will be terminated." But it was too late for such measures. Terra Invicta had spent years preparing for this moment. Resistance cells were already in position near every major hegemony facility on Earth. On the 3rd day, at precisely noon Greenwich time, the attack began. Resistance fighters across the planet activated the devices Sam's teams had planted. Catherine's virus poured into the hegemony network like a digital flood, corrupting systems and scrambling communications. At the same moment, Martinez's fleet dropped out of FTL travel just beyond Mars. The hegemony ships in orbit around Earth, suddenly unable to communicate with each other or their ground bases, were thrown into confusion. "All ships, attack pattern Theta," Lily ordered. Her fleet, now a mix of human vessels and ships from other rebellious worlds, moved with perfect coordination. They had trained for this moment for months. The space battle was unlike anything humans had imagined before. Massive energy weapons tore through the darkness. Shields flared and failed. Ships exploded in silent bursts of light. But the hegemony vessels, unable to coordinate their actions, fell one by one to Martinez's organized assault. On Earth, Sam led the ground attack on Zornthal's headquarters. The building was heavily defended, but with hegemony systems failing, many of their automated weapons turned against them. "They're calling for reinforcements," Natalie Garcia reported, monitoring what remained of hegemony communications. "A battle fleet is being summoned from the core worlds." "Good," Sam said grimly. "Let them come." Inside the headquarters, they fought room by room until they reached Zornthal's command center. The alien governor was surrounded by guards, his golden eyes wide with disbelief. "How?" he demanded when he saw Sam. "How have you done this?" "You made one mistake," Sam told him as resistance fighters secured the room. "You thought humans were just another species to harvest. You never understood what we do when threatened. We unite. We adapt. We fight back." Zornthal was taken prisoner, the highest-ranking hegemony official ever captured. The information in his personal database proved even more valuable than what they had stolen earlier. From orbit, Lily Martinez watched as green lights appeared across the planet, showing successful resistance takeovers of hegemony facilities. "Earth is nearly secure," she reported to her captains. "But the main hegemony battle fleet is on its way. We have perhaps 3 days before they arrive." "Will we evacuate?" asked her first officer. Lily shook her head. "No, Earth has been a victim long enough. Catherine's virus has spread to their entire network. When their fleet arrives, they'll find we're not as helpless as they think." She opened a channel to Sam on the surface. "How do you feel about taking the fight to their homeworld?" Sam smiled for the first time in years. "I thought you'd never ask." The hegemony battle fleet arrived at Earth 3 days later. 50 massive warships, each larger than anything humans had built, dropped out of FTL travel and moved into attack formation. Without warning or communication, they began orbital bombardment of major cities. Buildings crumbled under alien weapons. Fires spread across landscapes. The message was clear. The hegemony would rather destroy Earth than lose it. "They're targeting population centers," Natalie Garcia reported from the Resistance Command Center buried deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. "London is gone. Tokyo is burning. New Delhi has been hit multiple times." Sam Donovan studied the holographic display showing the attack. His face remained calm despite the horror unfolding. "This is what they've done to every world that resisted. But we expected this." Indeed, Terra Invicta had evacuated as many people as possible from major cities. Underground shelters built in secret over years now protected millions. But many, more millions remained exposed to the hegemony's rage. In orbit, Captain Lily Martinez watched the larger fleet with steady eyes. "They're following standard attack protocol," she noted, just as Velnar predicted. Beside her, the alien defector nodded. "The hegemony never changes tactics. They have not faced real resistance in 1,000 years.
Then
Angles. They used the moon as cover, struck quickly, then disappeared before the larger ships could respond effectively. "They can't coordinate their defense," Peter Collins observed from the engineering deck of Lily's flagship. "Catherine's virus is working." Indeed, the hegemony ships fired at shadows, sometimes even hitting their own vessels. Their communications remained corrupted by Catherine Powell's virus, making organized response impossible. On Earth, Sam Donovan interrogated Zornthal in a secure facility. "Tell us how to access your command codes," he demanded. The hegemony governor sneered. "You have already lost. Our fleet will reduce your world to ash." "Perhaps," Sam admitted, "but we've already sent ships to 3 of your core worlds. Each Carries a modified version of the virus and weapons based on your own technology. He leaned closer. If Earth burns, your empire burns with it. For the first time, fear showed in Zornthal's golden eyes. You would not dare. The core worlds are too well defended. Sam smiled without warmth. We already have. Your defenses depend on the same network we've corrupted. Right now, other subject worlds are rising up. The hegemony is fighting on multiple fronts. In space, the battle intensified. Lily's fleet had destroyed 7 hegemony vessels while losing only 3 of their own. But the alien weapons continued to rain destruction on Earth. We need to take out their flagship, Lily told her officers. Their Admiral Krellvorn is coordinating the bombardment from there. Lily formulated a desperate plan. She selected her fastest ship, loaded it with a specially designed payload, and personally led a small team of volunteers. This is a one-way mission, she told them honestly. But if we succeed, we save Earth. Using the confusion of battle as cover, Lily's small vessel approached the massive hegemony flagship. They docked at an emergency port using access codes extracted from Zornthal's database. We have 15 minutes before they discover us, Lily told her team as they moved through the alien vessel. They fought through surprised hegemony guards, losing 2 team members before reaching the command deck. Admiral Krellvorn was a massive figure, nearly 9 feet tall with the distinctive blue-gray skin of hegemony leadership. Humans, he snarled, when Lily's team burst onto the bridge. Your resistance is pointless. We don't think so, Lily said, as her team secured the bridge. She connected Catherine's final virus variant directly to the flagship's systems. This ship controls your entire fleet. Now we control this ship. Back on Earth, Sam received confirmation that Lily had taken the flagship. Now, Garcia, he ordered. Natalie Garcia activated a powerful transmitter built from modified hegemony technology. It sent a signal to resistance cells on 27 worlds throughout hegemony space. On each world, sleeper agents activated devices similar to those used on Earth, spreading Catherine's virus through local networks. In the hegemony flagship, Lily watched in satisfaction as the ship's displays showed the cascading effect. Their entire network is failing, she informed Sam. Defense systems, communication arrays, fleet coordination, all corrupted. And the bombardment? Sam asked anxiously. Stopped, Lily confirmed. I've locked out their weapon systems. With the flagship under human control and their network, in chaos the hegemony fleet was paralyzed. Some ships attempted to retreat only to find their FTL drives unresponsive. Others drifted powerless in space. Admiral Krellvorn, now Lily's prisoner, watched in disbelief. This is impossible. You are a primitive species. We were never primitive, Lily told him. Just underestimated. Using the flagship's communication system, Lily broadcast to every world in hegemony space. Her message was simple. The hegemony has fallen. Its fleets are defeated. Its networks are corrupted. Rise up now and claim your freedom. On dozens of worlds, subjected species who had lived under hegemony control for generations saw their opportunity. Rebellions erupted across the empire. Ancient oppressors found themselves fighting on too many fronts at once. 5 years later, Sam Donovan stood on a hilltop overlooking the rebuilt city of Denver. Much of Earth still showed scars from the hegemony attack, but humans were resilient. Cities rose again. Fields grew green. Children played in parks where alien outposts once stood. Lily Martinez joined him, now wearing the uniform of the Alliance of Free Worlds, the new organization that had replaced the hegemony. Former subject species worked together, sharing technology and resources without exploitation. The last hegemony holdout surrendered yesterday, Lily informed him. Trell-Nar system has joined the alliance. Sam nodded, looking up at the stars now filled with friendly vessels instead of threats. Did we go too far? He asked quietly. Worlds burned. Billions died when their network collapsed. They gave us no choice, Lily reminded him. The hegemony spent thousands of years conquering, harvesting, destroying. They came to Earth with lies and planned our extinction. We fought back the only way we could. And built something better from the ashes, Sam acknowledged. A memorial stood nearby, listing the names of those who had fallen in the struggle. Earth had paid a heavy price for freedom, but humanity had not only survived, it had helped forge a new and more just galactic community. They should have studied our history more carefully, Lily said, watching ships from a dozen worlds moving peacefully through Earth's sky. Humans aren't easy to conquer, and we never, ever give up. Sam smiled as the setting sun painted the sky in brilliant colors. They lied to Earth, he said, so we burned their worlds. But from those ashes, we all found something better.